Hello, hello. Welcome to our next episode of Adventures into Digital Marketing with NC WebDev, where we give you some pointers about how to navigate through the highly confusing waters of social media. Hopefully you get a lot out of it today, and I'm just trying to start off a little bit, but just to give some people a minute to log on and stuff. So it's always good to have a little delay. It's one of our evening stuff. We're gonna try a daytime one, so maybe you could let me know in the comments if what time would be best suited for you to see these events. And yeah, so our 1 minute is almost up. So let's start. Welcome everybody to the next live LinkedIn webinar. Today we're running on multiple platforms again, but LinkedIn being our main one, so where we sent out all the invites. But if you, for any reason, couldn't get LinkedIn or can't get on LinkedIn, we have Global Productions on Google, YouTube, and then we have Facebook, also NC WebDev. So welcome to 5 ways your website causes your business to bleed revenue. The title sounds a little self-explanatory, but it's not. There's a lot of hidden ways. Obviously you're gonna know that, oh, my business is not doing well, so I should do something about it. Yeah, that's good and well, but sometimes your business is doing well, but you may not even know. And that's what today's business webinar is about. I'm going to have Jason take over in a little bit because he's the one who should be doing most of the speaking today. So I'm just going to jump in here and there, hopefully, just to add in some things like I did last week. But I'll let him take over. So he's in Japan. So anyway, without further ado, here is my good friend, Jason Ho. Jason, take it away.
Thank you, Corel. I appreciate that introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Jason Ho. I partner with NC WebDev on the web designs and the digital.
Hello, Jason? 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 I think we lost him. So I guess it's up to me now. Good thing me and him worked on this, but he's a much better presenter. I was hoping he could do most of the work, but I guess the connection from the Far East from Japan was not in favor of us today, of Jason being with us. So he'll have to catch our session on a rebound and rerun, and then I'm gonna just take you through the presentation then today. Hopefully I'll do as good of a job as he does usually. Sorry to see that, and we'll work on that for next week. Hopefully he'll have a better connection. Anyway, so let me take over here. And so the number one place or number one reason why your business can be, why your website can be bleeding your business revenue is visibility. Yes, of course, if you have an established business, you're going to have a lot of stuff, people coming in, everybody knows about you, all that good stuff. However, the thing about the internet is, here are the four reasons down here, is are people having an easy time finding you? Yeah, of course, they know me, I know them for years, and, yeah, people find me. It's not a big deal. Well, yes, but then when they enter you into Google, what is it that shows up? Well, here are a few pointers on how you should be more visible in Google. For example, if they look you up, what pops up? Is it your website? Is it your personal account? Is it your business account? What is it? I have a picture there of sort of like Yellow Pages. It used to be alpha and omega of all sorts of lookups for businesses years ago. It was all on paper. Today, it's different. It's got to be on Google, other search engines as well. By the way, Google is responsible for about 70% of your traffic to your website, roughly. So, that's something to not forget. That's why we mention Google so much, but it's because it's got a good chunk of the search business. So when they look up your business, what do they look up? Do you have everything properly set up? Do you have all the backlinks? Do you have a lot of materials that they can find? I mean, and it's got to do with design. It's got to do with the website. The number two thing there would be the unique domain name. One example I know, we were talking with Jason, we were preparing this webinar, is you have in New York City, you got Ray's Pizzeria. Yeah, Ray's a pretty common name. And there's probably more than one Ray owning a pizzeria in New York. So when you recommend a New York pizzeria, Ray's Pizza, who are you recommending? My friend Ray, he's got the pizzeria over there. So, okay, yeah, go to him and he'll hook you up. It's really good stuff. Well, if there's 5 Rays, how are you going to do that? So you want to come up with a unique domain name. Is your domain name unique enough? I mean, there's a lot of the scams and stuff where you have Google.com, but then somebody puts in Google 1, Google 2 or something. I'm just giving it as an example. It just changes one letter and it's there. Same thing. It's, and it just, you enter something that's just one letter less and you're completely at basically a scam website. In this case, it may be just competitor's website. So you don't want to be confusing. So that's why you got to set up a good, unique domain. What would you call it? Authenticity. So that's one of the things that you want to watch out for. Also, long domain names don't work very well, despite some people thinking, or some marketers actually saying, you get this domain name like, Ray's Pizzeria on the corner of 5th Avenue and 34th Street. Okay, but then before somebody even enters it, it's going to be kind of hard. So, it's just, it was a technique that was used a few years ago, having really long websites, because that's what SEO is about. That's what the search engines are. But then you look at a long web name, is how you're going to actually work with it within the website. I mean, how many times is that pizzeria on 5th Avenue at 34th corner, a corner of 34th and 5th Avenue? How many times are you going to actually have that repeated in the text, in the content of your website? So, and with that is like, oh, you only have it in the domain name. It's not gonna really work, because your content's got to be connected to your domain name and kind of have something in common. So anyway, so that's as far as the domain name. Social media, you do want to have social media, and the more the merrier, and the more content, the more it is. On many businesses, you're gonna have noticed that they actually have their Facebook show up before their website. While this is good because at least they're found, I'm not sure if that's the best strategy, because, again, it's about reputation. I'll get back into that later. So if people can't find you, get your mistake, and you're sending business to somebody else. Unique domain name is obvious. Again, you're losing money just because of domain name. If you shorten it up, if you make more, if the domain name makes more sense, you're gonna get more people. And social media. Yeah, the social media needs to be there because of backlinks. If you can't work with, or if you can't afford, whether it's time or money, to work with 5, 6 different channels, work with at least one, so that way you get a good authority in your domain name and good, in the search engines, it always looks good if you get a website in the first place, and then right below the website is going to be, oh, this is their Facebook, this is their LinkedIn page, this is this. That looks good as long as the website's there. So, and then in order for your website to be noticeable and seen, you need to have multimedia content. That means you need to have some videos, you need to have some blog, you need to have a lot of different content where you're going to have those keywords where people will find you, not only when they look for Ray's Pizzeria or, ABC Plastics or something, they want to find you. You want to be found in the search engines under different key names, for example, of services you offer. Well, people look for, good pizza or New York style pizza in Raleigh, for example, here. I actually did this a couple of months ago. I was talking to one of the local pizzerias, and their specialty is like they have a New York pizza. However, I was in the area, in the vicinity of the pizzeria, and I asked Google. I said, no, I didn't ask because I don't talk to Google, I only type, but I said, listen, I typed in, I said, New York style pizza near me. And this place where I was inside of that place didn't show up on Google. I mean, how much business do you think they're losing if there's somebody standing or is a block away, asks for a New York style pizza, and they don't show up in the search results? So how much business do you think they're losing? Because these people, Google's going to send them 5 miles away because there's a bunch of New York style pizzas in Raleigh, of course. But, Google's going to send them away. So that's, so the more content you have, the more text, the more videos, the more pictures with proper descriptions, the more business you're going to generate. If you don't have some of these 4 things in complete order, you're losing business. You're bleeding revenue. And so, it might be a good idea to reach out to Jason. He'll explain it to you, but I'm not, unfortunately, I'm in his place today. So you can reach out to me as well. Next one, security. Your website, in order for it to attract customers, to be attractive to customers, to gain their trust, you need to have some basic security things. Of course, number one is HTTPS. If you don't have HTTPS website, get it. It's got to do with SEO, with load speed and trust. Because if it's not an encrypted communication to the browser, you might as well be printing all the information in the newspaper. This is not now the major problem with most websites. I do notice them sometimes that they don't direct it. I did notice some business in Chicago, photography, that is part of my LinkedIn network. They don't have an HTTPS website. I'm not sure how much business they do with it, but they don't have an HTTPS website. And that doesn't, it's today probably is going to be a small percentage of websites. But if you don't have it, you're losing money, you're losing trust, and you're losing people. And the next one is same thing goes for transactions. You want to do transactions within a website, and you want to have it run on HTTPS, and you also want to have certain different kind of communications that need to be encrypted. So if any transaction you do, and transaction doesn't only mean financial, is number 2 and number 3 are tied together, because the transaction is also when you ask your clients or potential clients to fill out a form and give you their personal information. That means, telephone number, address. Most people are not going to be asking for social security numbers unless you're dealing with loans or banking stuff, But if you're just trying to sell them something or service or product, don't ask for social security number. Anyway, and then 4 is also key. Updates. If you have all the first 3 things set up properly, and you have not updated your website for like 30 days, you're basically opening a site to hackers to just steal that information. Because updates is basically security patches for things that are neglected, were wrongly programmed, and it's just a race. And everything's got to be updated, and everything's got to be, the code's got to be rewritten because a hacker found... because you post a version A of something, and the hacker says, I have this thing that just goes right through A. So, you got to patch it up. So you're going to do an update. So, but the 30 days, every 30 days is the minimum time the website should be updated. If you're not, again, you're not leaving it secure. And if ever anything happens with security, your business goes down with your security issues. So security is very important. And the next topic on security is external links. External links means you got to be careful of where you send people. You don't want to send them to HTTP sites. You don't want to send them to scam sites. You don't want people to lose faith. So you try to do everything on your website, especially restaurants a lot of times have this issue where they send people to the other payment platforms or whatever else, but they're sending customers away. I mean, the payment gates, they're usually well secured and everything else, so it's not a problem of security. It's more of a problem of them not being in touch with their clients. And then the other one is when you send people to external links, they're not communicating with you anymore. So you're losing your customer, you're losing trust. And by sending them away, you're losing loyalty. Because if they can order someplace else, the same thing, or through another gate, and that other payment gate will offer them, or gateway will offer them similar product, they'll just buy it from there because, oh yeah, I already got another account over there. So yeah, they offered me something and they were out of stock the other day. And then you lose your customer and they just keep going back to the other one. And the next thing with security is pop-ups. A lot of times you're trying to download something on the internet and then all of a sudden you get to these sites and they get like one pop-up, an ad here, ad there, ad. People don't feel safe with that and they feel uncomfortable. It's even sometimes when you're trying to get information from them. It is not safe to do these things. It's like the less pop-ups you have on your website, again, the better the user experience, which I'm going to get into next slides, and the longer people will be coming back. Just don't bother them with stuff they don't want to see. That's basically what it comes down to. Okay, now one key thing, again, it's getting less and less, of course, is the lack of mobile responsiveness. Because today, most people don't even look at their computer anymore when they browse the websites. They look through their mobile devices, their smaller laptops or pads, iPads, and stuff like that. And all these things have different screen sizes. So, although, again, 90% probably are in some way responsive, or something like that, some crazy number. It's going to be a high percentage. They have a lot of websites do have a responsive design, but the question is, and me and my IT guy now, the programmer, a couple of weeks ago we talked about it, and I said, he sends me a link, and I'm like, and he sends me a screenshot, and I'm like, this website that you designed does not work in your phone. Well, the reason why I'm mentioning it is because all the responsiveness has got to be done for what people use the most. So there's always going to be fringe phones and fringe devices that it's not going to work on, but you want it to work on the most. You want it to work on like what 80-90% people are using. But you will never be able to get to 100% responsiveness. But you got to be careful and you got to see, maybe somebody will tell you, oh, it's responsive. Yeah, it will be responsive. But if it's only responsive for 30% of devices, it's not good design. If it's responsive for 80% devices, it's very good design. If it's for 100, it doesn't exist. But 99.9%, yeah, you could get that high. And if you got that kind of responsiveness, you're pretty secure and customers will come back and will be using your website. And that's what I'm talking about is these 3 points. Is if you have a poor UX, which is user experience, you're losing 50% of your revenue. So if you have a website that's responsive and only like 30% websites, half your customers, half your money that whatever your website generates now, if it generates $100,000 a year, if you have an issue with responsiveness, you're losing. You're gaining $100,000 in revenue a year, but the mobile responsiveness is causing you a loss of $100,000 extra you could have had in revenue, which you don't have. So that's because you don't know. You're like, oh yeah, I'm making $100,000 a year. Yeah, but you could be making 200. And same thing, slow web. Slow websites are an issue because they just, people are impatient. And if they get on their phone and they're like, oh, well, let me see, I'm gonna 1, 2, 3. You know what? Forget it. I'm gonna go someplace else. I don't have time for that. So yeah, again, you may not know, but if it's slow, if you could test the speed on GTmetrix that we use quite a bit, and if it doesn't test well, again, whatever money you're making, you could be making 40% more. And as far as conversions on mobiles and websites in general, every second costs you 20% of revenue. So that means if your website loads in 5 seconds and people's patience is only 3, with every next step, you're going to lose 20%. So of the customers, of the conversions, of sales. So, these are small little things, but That's what makes your website profitable. So if you're making great money with your website, but you find any of these issues, your website is bleeding money from your business. So make sure you check these things out and make sure you have the like little green check marks on each of those three elements that I mentioned here. Number 4, this one's fun. Poorly designed call to action can be an issue and can bleed revenue big time. Because a well-designed CTA is crucial for encouraging visitors to take a desired action, such as making a purchase or signing up for a newsletter. Poorly designed CTAs can negatively impact conversion rates. Now, you may be thinking, oh, well, I do Google ads, so I don't need this stuff on my website. And, well, if you run Google ads and you take them right to a website that's converting, Google click-through rate is 3.17%, and you're paying big money for that. For running ads, paying big money, and you have a CTR of 3.17%. You could be making one more extra percent, more than 1% more. And the CTA on a call to action reaction is 4.23%. So, and basically that's just a one-time investment that you're going to maintain and keep, but initially you're going to spend more on properly designed CTAs on your website, but it'll be worth it. Again, you're losing money by not doing these things. Your business is losing money without you even being aware of it. Whatever you're making, again, you could be making more. Newsletters, a popular one. You want to have a call to action for people who sign up to newsletters, because what is about business is about clients, keeping in touch, staying informed. So you want people to be informed. You want to keep them informed. You want to communicate with them, and you want to give them an incentive to come back, to follow you, to get the latest news. And then once you have that, once you're in touch with them, you could market with them, you could do stuff with them, and again, your business is going to make more money. Oh, what a surprise. And ultimately call to actions for purchase. So you need to have a place to say, buy this service, sign up for this, get this product, or get this magazine, ebook, or whatever, buy my things. But the way the call to action has to, and that goes through everything here, is it needs to be well placed, well visible, and accessible. Again, if it's like, for example, there's a statistic that 70% of the people, 70% of our time, of people's time watching a website, they spend it on the left side of the screen. So if your call to action is at the right bottom, you're losing 70% of viewers. So if you want to have a call to action, it's got to be at the top. It's got to be on the left-hand side. That's, small little things, small little tweaks. And number 5 is the number 1, basically almost the reason, and it's something that we did last week. That's why I didn't try to put it in as number 1 here, but it's lack of trust and credibility. If your business does not have great trust, credibility, your website is going to bleed business. So it's got to be your website, because we talked about it last week. Your business, I'm not sure if it was last week, 2 weeks ago, but anyway, in the past, your business needs a website. Website gives your business trust and credibility. Businesses without website, they are not looked upon well. So, and the same thing goes for a good, well-designed website. It builds trust and credibility even more. And poor web design can make a website appear unprofessional, untrustworthy, which can discourage potential customers from making a purchase or providing personal information. So, you want to have that website done properly. You don't want to have any errors on it, and you need to have it maintained properly so that the customers come back, find what they're looking for, don't get discouraged, and stay around. That's what the trust, professional, UX, and last one here is no web, no trust. That's just basically what it comes down to. And one interesting statistic here is if your customers come to you regularly, but then they will have 3 bad experiences, whether in a row, whether even maybe like 3 in 3 months. If they come once a week and they have on the third bad experience, 80% of your customers will leave. So this is important to keep up with the modern trends. It's important to have the right information there. It's crucial. It's literally crucial. And there would be 80% of your business, of your customers, you'd be sending to your competition. I don't know. I wouldn't like that situation. So we always try to keep up our website up to date. We do that. It's automated. It's monitored. And I always consult with people, and I do test groups, and I talk to other people and say, listen, what do you think of this new element that we added? Can you find it? Is it easy to see? You always got to keep testing, improving, and getting better. Anyway, and that's me. Contact me, Jason Ho, or contact him. He was unfortunately disconnected by the Pacific internet connection, but hopefully we'll see him next week. And if not, I'll be back. That's all I can say. Thank you for your attention. Have a great night, and I'll see you soon again. Bye.